Welcome, Leatherneck fans, to this edition of Leatherneck Insider. I'm Jonathan Kirchner.
And I'm Nathaniel Rogers. We're starting things out this week with the TSSR Game Time Live Athlete of the Week. Kobe Blackbond with more.
Welcome back to another segment of TSSR Game Time Live Athlete of the Week. This week I'm with Lydia Bennett. Lydia, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just jumping in right into question one. Moving to fourth all-time in the 6K at Western Illinois. How do you feel? Is this a big accomplishment for you, and when did you find out?
I'm super ecstatic, honestly. I didn't even know that was in the realm of possibilities for me. If you'd have told me that 2 years ago, my freshman year, I'd have been like, you're crazy. I didn't know at first after the race until probably like 20 minutes afterwards. My coaches were looking and they're like, you just got number 4 all time. And I just remember like hugging and laughing and just being with my team, and it was amazing.
Yeah, and conference tournament at the end of the month. What's your mindset going into that, and how do the coaches help you prepare?
Yeah, it's really confident right now. I'm feeling really good. We've been riding a really good high, me personally and my team as well. We've been doing really good and staying together. And the support staff from our coaches is absolutely amazing. He believes in us and is giving us times that might seem a little bit hard, but it just shows that how much he believes in us, and it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, kind of going back to Coach Rosado, I interviewed him last week and he talked about how well you do. The team usually does at Bradley. Mm-hmm. How does he continue to push you all throughout the season?
He just continues to push us by giving us all the positive mindset, that we're not just athletes, about asking us about who we are as people and making sure that we're doing okay in our academics and athletics. And so just kind of that, and just giving that step and beyond is just showing us how much he cares, and it's just really leading us into the conference tournament that's coming up. It's coming next week.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you noticed, but in the polls for Instagram, you had over 60% of the votes. Just tell me about your support system.
Yeah, my support system's amazing. As soon as I found out, it was all over the group chat, and it was just, I love this team so much. They've been the biggest support. I'm just so honored to be a part of something like this, and then my family was super ecstatic too. So it was just nice. I had support all the way from back home in Indiana and all the way here in Macomb, so it meant a lot.
All right, thank you, Lydia, for your time. Just going to wrap it up for this segment of TSSR Game Time Live Athlete of the Week. I'm Kobe Blackbond, reporter for Leatherneck Insider.
Thanks, Kobe, and congratulations to Lydia Bennett on all of her achievements.
Now heading over to Hanson Field for some football highlights from last week. After a close road loss to UT Martin due to a heartbreaking blocked field goal, the 1-6 Leathernecks come back home still trying to get their first conference win against the 1-6 team, the Buccaneers of Charleston Southern. We start off this conference game with freshman Kason Carswell. He's been making big plays over the air all year, and this is no exception as he connects with Christian Anaya for the Leathernecks' first touchdown of the game and Anaya's 4th touchdown of the season. Moving over to the defensive side of the ball, second and long for the Buccaneers, and they try to make some moves on the ground, but get stopped at the line by redshirt freshman James Mikaka to force a 3rd and long situation for the Buccaneers. Heading into the second quarter play in the red zone, and the Leathernecks get a little tricky with their play calling. They go with a direct snap to Markel Holman, who runs it in for a Leatherneck touchdown. Great running by Markel. Back over to the defensive side of the ball, and Buccaneers quarterback Zoltan Osborne connects with Mackay Campfield, who gets brought down hard. Trying to get back a few more points before halftime, the Leathernecks hand it off to Markel Holman, who finds the hole and gets some good yardage before being brought down. Third quarter of play, and Carswell has found himself in a ton of pressure. He scrambles to make time, looking for anyone downfield. He keeps moving, breaking a tackle, and he finally pulls the trigger on Christian Anaya, who makes the catch for the first down and plenty more before finally being brought down before the 25-yard line. A few plays later in the red zone, and Kason Carswell makes the quick pass over the middle to find Alex Williams in the end zone for the touchdown, making that Williams' 6th touchdown of the season. Following up with another quick pass by Carswell on 3rd and medium, this time he finds Joshua Knives for the first down to extend the drive. We join the Leathernecks late into the 4th quarter, down by 5, not much time on the clock, and Carswell finds Miles Cox for the first down. Leathernecks still in a hurry, keep it over the air. This time Carswell finds Markel Holman, who gets a yard shy of the first down. Unfortunately, the Leathernecks would fail to convert on the 4th down and lose this game 29-24.
Credit to Charleston Southern, came here and just made more plays at the end of the game than we did. third week in a row we've had a lead in a conference game. The last 2 weeks, leads into the fourth quarter, double-digit leads, and haven't been able to close that out. So, just disappointed for our players. We're not doing a good enough job, I don't think, as coaches right now, figuring out a way to finish these games out and put our players in a position to finish these games out. Certainly starts with me, and so we could still have a lot to work on here as we look to build a championship program here at Western.
The Buccaneers advance to 2-6 on the season and get their first conference win on the season. Meanwhile, the Leathernecks fall to 1-7 and are still winless in conference. They hit the road to face Tennessee State today at 1:30.
Sticking on Henson Field, our Leatherneck insider reporter Glenn Novak had the second part of his interview with WIU kicker Antonio Chadha about volunteering off the field and the people that inspired him.
Kicker Antonio Chadha was selected as a finalist for the Fred Mitchell Award and reflects on his accomplishments.
It's obviously really nice to be recognized coming into the season. Now that we're in the thick of it, it's time to go out there and do the job. So I think right now I'm sitting around 82%. Try and finish strong with 5 games to go during the season. But I'm really just focused on doing my job and obviously winning. So while it is nice to be recognized, I just care about the team doing well and us winning. And I know Coach Davis has a very difficult job trying to rebuild a program like this, and to have his belief is really does numbers on my confidence. So credit to Coach Davis for having the confidence in me, and I'm just trying to do whatever I can to help the team win.
Chadha reflected on the work he does off the field.
Yeah, so we do, obviously, at least once or twice a week, we as a team do community service just around the area. So while there isn't like a specific organization that I participate with like on a weekly basis, whatever opportunity presents itself each week, I try and do my best to get out there and help around with the community, with the rest of my teammates.
Chadha talked about who impacted him to help in the community.
I wouldn't say that there's one specific person. My parents are business owners, and specifically they're physical therapists, so their job is to help people. And just being around them and their business and helping out when I can, especially with the older community, I try and do whatever I can to help them. I really know it makes others people's day when you give back, so that makes me happy to know that I'm making their day better.
This is Glenn Novak from Leatherneck Insider.
Thank you, Glenn. The Leathernecks play the Tennessee State Tigers today at 1:30 p.m.
Time for a break, but when we come back, you'll hear from the pitch, the diamond, and the tennis court.
Taking me home, taking me home.
Here, I engineer the future.
Taking me home. Bring me back.
Here, I have countless opportunities.
Taking me home. Bring me back.
Here, I do research.
Right here at Western.
Western Illinois University. Our beginnings in 1902 focused on providing affordable teacher education training. We've changed with the times and excelled through the years. Today, Western is positioned for the next 100 years and beyond. Affordability of diverse academic programs, outstanding learning opportunities, and hands-on experiences provide excellent job placement for our graduates. This is Western, forever Western.
Welcome back. The WIU men's soccer team has tied 3 of their last 4 matches, with opposing teams only scoring 3 goals in that time frame. My partner Nathaniel Rogers had the chance to speak with goalkeeper Micah Ramirez about the season up to this point.
I had the chance to speak with WIU goalie Micah Ramirez about the season and his game preparation. I first asked what goes into being the field's main communicator.
When it comes to my communication, like the first thing I'm always trying to take care of is, those guys are running out there for 90 minutes and their head is, focused on, oh, maybe I'm tired, or they got to focus on a million other things. So I just try to be that guy to help direct them with, things going on behind them or things that they're not able to see, since I have a really good angle of the whole field, and just trying to make sure like we don't make any mistakes, holding guys accountable in those situations, just doing every little thing we can to win.
I then asked what they're doing to get the offense rolling.
We all have belief into the guys up front that they can do the job. Pieces just haven't connected well enough starting from the back to the front, so we all just got to do a better job of connecting, communication, and I think the goals will come. I mean, we've been playing pretty well in possession, but I think we just got to be a bit more dangerous in the final third, and I know the guys have been holding themselves accountable, so we'll definitely, those goals will come.
My final question was what the message is coming into the final stretch of OVC play.
Yeah, so the message for these final 3 games has been like, this could either be 3 games or potentially up to 7 games, and that's like the mentality, just because, we either get into the tournament or we slip up, don't get any points in our next 3 games, and we end up missing the conference tournament. So if we take care of business in the next 3 games, we'll definitely get in, and we even have a chance of getting a high seed if we do super well. But the message is, hey, like every game could be our last game potentially, so we just got to play it like that way.
Reporting for Leatherneck Insider, I'm Nathaniel Rogers.
Thanks, Nathaniel, and good luck to Micah and the rest of the men's soccer team with their match at 3 p.m. today at EIU.
WIU baseball coach Terry Davis has gotten the opportunity to be a coach to numerous MLB draft picks, including Joey Ortiz of the Milwaukee Brewers and Kyle Manzardo of the Cleveland Guardians, who are in this year's postseason. Leatherneck Insider reporter Cody Gill has more with the story.
WIU baseball coach Terry Davis is going to his 3rd year as the Leathernecks head coach, and he previously had stints as an assistant in New Mexico State and Washington State. With these opportunities, he has coached over 60 guys who have reached the pro level, 2 of which being Joey Ortiz and Kyle Manzardo, who are on playoff teams this year. I asked Davis to tell me what made those 2 stand out and help them get to this point.
Very hard workers. All of them have that same attribute. All of them are very different in terms of maybe their personality, all from very different places and very different backgrounds. But when if you just speak of what did those guys look like on campus, I think they look like successful people look like everywhere. The work ethic is elite. They're disciplined enough to do what they need to do on a daily basis to improve, and they're consistent enough to show up tomorrow and do it again. And that just the discipline and the consistency and the work ethic. When you're talking about somebody that is going to play at the highest level of their sport, I think you have to have those 3 things. Unless you're just there's outliers,
When asked on what it meant to Davis to be able to help them be successful and achieve their dream of playing on the biggest stage, this is what he had to say.
It's awesome. It's awesome that you just it's awesome that you played a part and you got to spend a small piece of their career, I guess, with them. But at the same time, I think once you spend 3 or 4 years together and you accomplish some of the things that we accomplished together, when we have conversations, a lot of times baseball is like the last thing we talk about. It's other stuff. It's more life. How you doing? How's your family? All that type of stuff. Baseball probably gets brought up, but it's at the end of the conversation, and I think that's a really important thing.
Reporting for Leatherneck Insider, I'm Cody Gill.
Thanks, Cody, and what an honor it must be for Coach Davis to have been able to coach such great, hardworking guys like Ortiz and Manzardo.
WIU tennis player Nora Giblowy received an honor back in May that only a handful of athletes receive each year. Caden Strentz has more.
Nora Giblowy was one of 4 athletes across the NCAA selected as an Accelerated Academic Success Program honoree.
Yeah, I was really excited when I first knew about the award. First, very excited to be able to attend 2 NCAA events, the Sport Career Forum and then the Summit. But also I was really excited to know that I won it, and I was really looking forward to what's coming next and just really proud and grateful for the opportunity I had.
Head coach Luke Ogren with some high praise for the recent honoree.
Yeah, it's really cool. Definitely an awesome opportunity for her. I mean, to get to speak at one of those conventions is obviously a very big deal. And to be able to not only represent our team, which she does every day, but be able to represent the entire athletic department, the entire school, that's a huge opportunity for her. I think all of us, myself and the entire team, are very proud of her for kind of everything she's done on and off the court. So being able to kind of take that next step and have it be seen by the NCAA is a huge thing for us.
Giblewi dedicates this honor to her teammates and her family.
I want to dedicate everything, of course, to my school, my team, my coaches, everyone who believed in me, but also especially to my family back home for their support, for letting me go this far again, and believe in me that I can do it in a country that no one knows anything about. So this is also dedicated for them, the award, everything, the degree that I'll get here, all the tennis matches that I won, everything will be dedicated to my family back home.
Caden Strunz, Leatherneck Insider.
Parts of the criteria for earning this honor includes being a sophomore or higher, a 2.8 cumulative GPA or higher, being eligible for athletics competition, being eligible to attend 2 NCAA professional development events, the Career in Sports Forum, and the annual AASP conference, as well as attending an AASP eligible school. Congrats to Noor Giblewi.
WIU women's basketball player Reagan McCown has been named to the 2026 Becky Hammon Mid-Major Player of the Year Award watch list. McCown is one of 25 players nationwide recognized by the preseason list, which highlights the top mid-major women basketball players in the country. The Becky Hammon Award honors players from 26 mid-major conferences, excluding those from the ACC, Big 12, Big East, Big 10, and SEC. Congrats to Reagan McCown. Don't leave just yet. When we come back, there's news from the volleyball court, Macomb Heights football, and everyone's favorite, well, maybe not Caden's, Kobe's Corner.
Not W? It's not W, it's W. 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 That's what I've been stressing out about the most so far. Is saying W because I know it's something you're going to say right. Yeah, we've been ready.
They're like, we're waiting on, what are we waiting on?
They haven't said anything. I said we're ready to go, we can start.
Hello everyone, I'm Will Thomas.
And I'm Dane Mackley. Welcome to this week's edition of Leatherneck Insider.
Welcome back to Salee Hall. It was an in-state showdown last Tuesday in Charleston as Western Illinois volleyball hit the road to take on Eastern Illinois in Ohio Valley Conference play. Ashley Marker forcing a kill through 3 EIU blockers puts the Leathernecks up 8-7 in set 1. Leathernecks up by 1 and Kiana Cruz and Hillary Estes put up a massive block to extend their lead. A back row set to Gracie Latowski and a nice little off-roll speed catches the defense off guard. Unfortunately, the Leathernecks would drop set 1. Starting off set 2, Cruz drives a ball down the line for a kill, putting the Leathernecks on the board. A set deep from the back and the outside, and it's another big kill from Ashley Marker. She places the ball perfectly. Down 3, and Cruz with a big hit, causing all sorts of chaos on the Eastern Illinois as they come up unsuccessful on the dig. Leathernecks with some great defense here, and a sharp cross gets a kill and puts the Necks ahead by 1. Leathernecks serve down 4. Eastern with a swing into a block, and the Leathernecks convert with a kill from Kaya Franklin to close the gap. Serve from Leathernecks. And an overpass from Eastern allows Grace Kramer to send the ball straight down. Leathernecks fall set 2. On to set 3. Eastern sends a free ball. Grace Kramer on the slide gets the kill. Tied at 3. Eastern sends a tip over to Cruz, a pass to Norton, and a set to Elizabeth Ziegler swing off the block and out for a kill. Western trailing by 2. Norton connects with Ziegler once again as she swings through the block for a kill. The Leathernecks will lose 1 set to 3. The Leathernecks fall to 5-16 on the season and 2-5 in conference play. They face the Tennessee State Tigers here in Macomb today at 4 p.m. Good luck, ladies.
Sticking with the highlights, the Macomb High Bombers were at home last week under the lights versus the Elmwood Brimfield Trojans. The 6-1 Bombers came in looking to improve their playoff seeding, while the 3-4 Trojans were trying to get back to 500 on the season. Here we are starting off in the first with the Bombers. Their first drive of the game, Bombers kept moving down the field thanks to some nice runs by Drake May. They would get all the way to the Trojans' 29-yard line. Later, we're on 2nd and 8 with 6:50 left in the first. Bomber quarterback Caden Up throws one up to Drew Watson, who spins around and reels it in for the Bomber touchdown for the first score of the game. 7-0 Bomber lead. The Bombers would get it back in the red zone after a muff snap of the Trojans' punt, and after a nice outside handoff on 1st and goal from the 2, Bomber Joshua McFeeters punches it in for the 14-0 lead with 3:40 left in the half. And right after the McFeeters score, the Bombers get tricky with an onside kick recovered by junior Kyle Norton around the Trojan 45-yard line. And on the very next play, the Bombers in shotgun, Caden Nupp again drops back to pass, throws one up to who else but Kyle Norton, who catches it in stride, beating out his defenders and houses it for the Bomber touchdown, up 3 scores, 21-0 in the first quarter of play. Heading into the second, 10 minutes on the clock, and the Bombers have it on 4th and 11 from the Trojans' 37. And they go for it with Caden Up firing outside the numbers to Drew Watson again. And he slips by one defender, cuts it back up the field, and all the way into the end zone for another addition to the unrelentless scoring by the Bombers, 28-0. The Bombers would get it back with around 7 minutes on the clock and would continue to pound the rock downfield after a couple runs from Joshua McFeeters, getting the Bombers all the way down to around the 1-yard line. Caden Up would cap off the drive with the quarterback keeper, now 35-0. Macomb would add 7 more in the third, where the Trojans would add 2 more touchdowns in the fourth, with a final score of 42-13. In a surprising turn of events, this would be the last regular season game of the year for the Bombers, after it was announced by the LVC Miners football program on social media that the Miners would forfeit their last game of the season against Macomb. This comes after Lewiston Athletic Director Joe McLaughlin announced the Miners' low numbers on roster and team injuries, with only 19 healthy players coming into last week's game. McLaughlin assures fans that the team will not be moving down to 8-man football and is encouraged by the number of incoming freshmen for the next year. The Miners move to 0-9 on the season and continue their 20-game losing streak since Week 7 of 2023.
Well, it's time for most people's favorite segment, Kobe's Corner. Take it away, Kobe.
Welcome you back to another segment of Kobe's Corner. Definitely missed you all last week, so let's jump into a quick history lesson. Back in 1964, Minnesota Vikings defensive end Jim Marshall ran the wrong way, a whopping 66 yards into his own end zone for a safety. And in 1978, pitcher Gaylord Perry made history winning the NL Cy Young Award and becoming the first pitcher ever to earn that honor in both the American and National Leagues. And speaking of the gridiron, Max Peeble was definitely running the right way. The Mill Valley Jaguars star rushed for an insane 403 yards and 4 total touchdowns. Averaging 17.3 yards per carry, that performance marked the career high for Peeble and now holds the record for the most rushing yards in a single game in program history and helped secure the Jaguars' 5th win of the season. And as we stick on the ground, this game was all about one player, current running back Monte Quinn. The All-American senior put together one of the greatest performances in college football history, rushing for an NCAA record of 522 yards and a program record 7 touchdowns on just 20 carries. Quinn broke off for 8 runs of over 25 yards, including touchdown bursts of 85, 84, 76, 64, 58, and 30 yards, with the other score being a 2-yard run that came just 2 plays after a 43-yard dash. After the game, head coach Todd Parsons spoke about Quinn's historic night, saying what Monte did today was nothing short of amazing. Breaking the NCAA rushing record is monumental achievement. Parsons, who's been with Quinn since his freshman year, also credited the team's effort, saying, "I think he'll be the first to tell you records like this don't happen alone. Our offensive line played lights out, our receivers blocked downfield, and our quarterback made great decisions." Curry moves to 5-1 on the season after the win, while Nichols drops to 2-4. Quinn's 522-yard day now stands as the first 500-yard rushing game in college football history. That's going to wrap it up for this segment of Kobe's Corner. And always remember, there's a different sports story behind every corner. Have a great weekend, Macomb.
Thanks, Kobe. What an amazing accomplishment by Quinn.
500 yards? I don't think I could ever do that.
Neither could I. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Follow us on socials at Insider WIU, and for our entire crew, I'm Jonathan Kirchner.
And I'm Nathaniel Rogers. Have a great week, Leatherneck Nation.